Well, hello there, everyone. Hopefully, you're doing outstanding. Today is Friday, June the 10th, year 2022. I'm just back from the grocery store. Anyway, first of all, big shout out to my friend and neighbor, Anil. Yeah, we had a great conversation last night on my dock down there. He's on his way to financial independence. Thanks for investing, Anil. Anyway, remember, as always, I am not a financial attorney. Let me say it right. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. I share stories of things I've done. I talk about situations, experiences, thoughts up here, things I want to do, things I have done, etc., etc., etc. So, with that being said, I'm going to talk about a situation today that could apply to almost any one of you. Almost any one of you. Okay? If it doesn't apply to you now, it may have applied to you in your past. So I'm looking for comments on this person's situation. Because Anil and myself last night, we were talking about this other person, and they'll stay anonymous, okay? But it's someone else that we both mutually know, okay? And they want to learn how to invest. They are a non-investor. They are middle-aged. They have children. They're married, okay? So put yourself in their shoes, or put yourself in the shoes of a single person who's never saved anything, or a married couple who's never invested anything at all, or someone 25 with 5 kids who wants to learn how to invest. Can any of these people become financially independent? All right. The one I want to talk more about is the person who's, let's say they're middle aged, say they're younger than me, but we'll call it all middle aged. They have children at home. They don't make a huge income, but they work, so they got income coming in. They own a house. They're living in a house. At least, I don't know if they have a mortgage or not. Don't have a mortgage. But they have nothing saved up. Can this person become financially independent in roughly 10 years? I say yes, they can. What do you say? All right. So, first of all, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm hoping that several individuals who watch this will comment or perhaps make a 1 or 2 minute video. And if they do and they email it to me or get it to me, I will upload it as a response to this one. And those folks would be, at no particular order, Millennial Mike, Helicopter Polly Caleb, Cowboy, or Dion from Dion Talks. Because here's what I'm going to say for this person. I don't really know you that well. I'm not giving you any advice. But if I was in your situation, I'm going to start with the worst option and lead it up to what I think is the best option. Okay? Because again, this is applicable to everyone. If someone wants to become financially independent in 10 years or so, roughly, do they start investing in crypto? Mazske says no. Doesn't mean you don't have to invest in crypto, but if that's the only investment someone makes, look at all the crypto scams out there. Look at how many crypto coins are no longer a coin, or they were riding high and now they're sunk down low. If that's your path to financial independence, good luck. Moving on from that, could growth stocks do it? I was a growth stock investor for roughly 30 years, 20 years probably growth stocks, and I did quite well. 18% annualized return for 13 years, 100% annualized return over 2 years, the last 2 years. Okay, I did very well. I would caution someone to go that path right now because the market is just the recession, looming recession perhaps, the economy. Caleb and I made a video talking about different things in regards to economy and recession. I might upload that tomorrow. But anyway, I would be cautious with growth stocks right now because sometimes technology stocks, if you get the right one, it might take off even during a recession. But they might kind of, I just don't know. I can't predict the future. Another option is dividend stocks. Dividend stocks, I've always known about dividend stocks, but when I was younger, I did not invest in them because I wanted to be aggressive and go with growth stocks. I was successful. All right, but right now I look more at dividend stocks and I look at returns, the dividends. I wrote some numbers down. If you could get a dividend of 5.3%, 4.5%, 6%, 7%, 3%, 2.5, 1.7, a dividend, look at what your savings account pays. If you were to invest in dividend-paying stocks, look at the dividend aristocrats. There's roughly, I think, 60-some dividend aristocrats. Those are companies that have not cut dividends, or they have increased dividends in 25 consecutive years. All right, those are good, solid companies that have been around for decades. If someone invests in one of them, they're getting 4%, 5%, 6%, 7%, depends on the company, which is, it dwarfs what a savings account pays in the bank. But now, with that being said, a caution, the share price could go down. If the whole market drops, the share price could drop. But if you reinvest those dividends, you're buying more shares when the price is cheaper, and hopefully the market will come back up, and voila, you got more money. I ran some numbers last night with a dividend calculator, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm not going to get into detail on that because that's not the focus of this. Moving on from that, all right, we have real estate. Buy and hold real estate, rental property. But for someone who has nothing, that can be challenging because they look at buying, they live in a house, and they look at buying another house and they're like, well, I need a down payment of probably 20%. How am I going to do that? I don't have time to manage it. I work a full-time job. What do I do? It can be done, but again, it's challenging. All right. Backing up for just a second. If someone is in this situation, a key thing they have to do is start cutting expenses, and they got to start saving money. And I want to get into one huge way to save money, but they got to look at everything they spend a dollar on, everything. And if they can cut their budget by 10%, 20%, 30%, that's money they can use to save up for a down payment to buy a rental property. All right, but what's that huge expense they could cut? It's their housing expense. All right, if they do have a house and they do have a mortgage, that's probably the largest expense they would have for any of you out there. It is for me. I pay a $3,000 a month mortgage. It's the largest expense. So if a person can cut this expense, they have that much more money to invest. But how do you do that? You have to live somewhere. And Mazske, you referenced a fictional person who's married with 3 kids. What, are they going to live under a bridge, Mazske? Where's your head at, Mazske? Are you just lunatic? Are you crazy? No, I'm not. That's why I hope Dion and Millennial Mike will chime in on this topic. Both Dion, I'll tell you briefly about Dion. Dion never made more than $17 an hour, and he was divorced. He had, I think, 3 kids. I could be wrong. Could be 2 kids. 2 or 3 kids. His wife divorced him. He got custody of the kids, $17 an hour. And when he got divorced, he found out his wife left him with $80,000 of debt. He became financially independent within 10 years. Millennial Mike, he's been on my channel quite a few times. Dion's been on my channel. Millennial Mike is a single father. He has full custody of his child. He was married, I believe. They split up. He won custody of his child. He works. He's a single dad. He's on his well on his way to financial independence. How did Millennial Mike, how did Dion do it? And there's other folks that have done the same thing. They did something along these lines. I'll use different terminology. They house hacked. They bought a duplex, lived in one side, rented the other side. They bought a house, lived in a room, rented other rooms out. Something along those lines. But Mazske, you said a married couple with 3 kids. They're not going to rent rooms out of their house. Right, they're not. But can they buy a duplex or a triplex? Sell their primary home. Don't just sell it without having a plan. Get a plan and then sell their primary home to get the money to put a down payment because you need 20%. Buy a duplex or a triplex that has enough living space. Let's say it has at least, if you have 3 kids, all 3 could be girls, all 3 could be boys. You could have 2 boys, 1 girl, 2 girls, 1 boy, or whatever combination. So at a minimum, you need 2 bedrooms, right? I had 2 boys. I had a 2-bedroom house for all of their life. My 2 boys, 4.5 years apart, shared a bedroom their entire teenage years until they graduated high school and went off to the Coast Guard Academy. Okay? So don't tell me kids can't share a bedroom. They can share a bedroom. My boys did it, and they turned out quite successful. But if they bought a triplex, a duplex, a 4-unit building, and the apartment they lived in was at least a 3-bedroom apartment, which they're out there, their kids could be in 2 rooms out of the 3, and mom and dad could be in the other room. And then their tenant on the other side pays their mortgage for them or comes very close to paying it. I think with Millennial Mike, he has a duplex. I don't think his tenant pays 100% of it because he lives in a very expensive area. Or Millennial Mike does, out on the West Coast near Seattle. All right, so even if your tenant doesn't fully pay the mortgage and they pay 75% of it, well, guess what? Your housing costs, you're only paying 25% of it. Your tenant's paying 75%. And then over time, you raise the rent, so it pays even more. But by doing this, you're not doing this forever. You don't have to do it forever. You have to, if you get a mortgage, stay there for 1 year. And then you could move out and perhaps do it again. Or perhaps you saved enough money in that 1 year that you could buy your own single family home, a starter home, let's say, have money left over to buy another rental property, or you find another duplex, triplex, quad unit, just move into the next one and you do it again. Dion has done it. He's financially independent. Millennial Mike has done it. He's on his way to financial independence. Robbie, my tenant in my triplex in Virginia, bought my triplex. He's in his 20s. He's on his way to financial independence. Helicopter pilot Caleb can chime in because he started investing at age 22 and he is well on his way to financial independence in about 5 years. Watch the video about my mentors mentoring a millionaire, or whatever it's called. Watch that video and you'll hear Helicopter pilot Caleb's story. All right, but house hacking, renting a room in your house, buying a duplex, triplex, quadplex, living in one unit and let your tenants pay the mortgage for you. They are great ways to cut the largest expense that any person has, which is their housing expense. If you can cut out on the lattes in the Starbucks, sure, you save $5 a day. If you did it 5 days a week for a month, that's 5 times 5 is 25 times 4, 50, that's $100. $100 is great to save, right? By cutting that latte out. Cut the latte out, save that $100. But if you can change your housing cost and live in an apartment in a duplex, triplex, quadplex, and have your tenants pay the mortgage and perhaps put money in your pocket, it puts you on the property ladder, it gets you going with real estate, you have your largest expense paid for, and you just keep on going. You just got to take that first step and you keep on going. All right, this is long enough. I'm going to sign out because lunch is calling. Have a great day, everyone. Mazske is signing out.